Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Still working on the red 66. I am in the middle of the LS swap and I've basically just been doing pit-on work, waiting for a few more parts to come in. But while I'm waiting on that, I figured that one of the things that I needed that I still don't have in my blue truck are good gauges. So I have a Bluetooth OBD dongle that it's like the ODB X, whatever, the green one you can get on Amazon. You can plug it in to your ODB port and you can run gauges off an Android tablet. I've been doing that in the blue truck and it works okay. I'm just not real satisfied with the layout of the gauges, and I just haven't bought one of the apps to, have a fancy custom gauge setup. So what I decided to do for the red truck was to install regular gauges. As you know, or you may not know, with the LS swap, you can't run your factory gauges. So what I did is, this is my old gauge cluster. I took it apart and I took the glass, or the plexiglass, I guess you would say, out of the bezel and took it in and traced it and basically made what you're looking at here. I guess I should explain this, is I have a CNC machine that I bought to do woodworking stuff with. But anyway, I traced out that glass and made a template, and I ordered some ABS plastic that is the same or close to the same thickness as that factory glass. And then here is my CNC program. I designed that template and the gauge layout. So the gauge layout, I think, for a 3 3/8 inch speedometer and tachometer, then 2 1/16 inch gauges for voltmeter and oil pressure, fuel gauge, and one of, I might have already said voltmeter, coolant temperature. So what we're going to do today is see how accurate my tracing is. I've got gauges on the way, and we're going to cut this out and see if I can make it fit in that bezel. You can see all the little indents and little ticks there, so I think it should fit in. But I am going to get my CNC machine set up. I hadn't used it in probably a year, but I figured it'd be perfect for this project. I'll get it set up on Timelapse, get everything all calibrated, and then we'll cut this out and see how it looks. All right, got the machine all set up. What I use on this, I know that most people aren't going to have this tool, but you can, what I use is this CNC tape. It's like a pretty thin double-sided tape, but it holds incredibly strong. So I got this sheet on there, and it is double-sided taped down. Got my machine zeroed, and everything's ready to run. So I'm going to just put it on time-lapse, let it go. Looks like I said it'd take about 5 minutes to cut out. If I mess up, I've got enough material here to cut another piece, and this piece on Amazon was only $10. So if I get away with this, then that's going to be a pretty cheap gauge setup. So let's go to the time lapse. All right, that looks like it went pretty good. Took, I don't even think it took 5 minutes. It cut through everything pretty good. Pull out these cutouts. That one's kind of stuck. I'll leave that one in there until I get a screwdriver, pop that out. But I'm gonna grab this glass here. Lay it over. Looks like it lines up pretty good. So I'm Get that out of there. Man, it's hard to do this stuff one-handed. All right, there it is. You can see the tape on the back side. Looks like it fits. Flip it over, take a look at it. Looks pretty good. I like that. So I got the gauges coming and we'll get those in there. But anyway, that's gonna be all for this video. I would be happy to share this template if anybody wants it. You'd have to cut out the stuff by hand, but yeah, it should work. All right, just a little follow-up. I got my gauges in early, and you saw the video where I cut out the panel on the CNC and about to start wiring these up. But just before I end the video, the wiring is gonna be basic. But I'm just gonna show you these gauges. I think they turned out pretty good. Panel fits perfect. The speedometer is a GPS speedometer, which on the 4L60, you do not really have the option to run a speedometer unless you get a conversion box that converts the electronic signal into, it's basically got a little motor on it and it hooks to your speedometer. So anyway, that was my option, was a GPS speedometer, and it has just a little GPS antenna that goes up on your dash. So anyway, I got everything together. I think it turned out good. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this video. I hope this was helpful. And like I said earlier, I have this template if anybody wants to make their own. I did end up cutting a second one because once I put the gauges in the bezel itself, it was a little off, and the bezels around the small gauges at the top, there wasn't enough clearance. So did have to adjust a little bit, but I got the template worked out. But anyway, these gauge pods, if you buy them on Jags or wherever, they're around, I just looked last night, it's $220 for a plastic one. This sheet of ABS plastic cost me 10 bucks on Amazon. I was able to cut 2 out of them, and the gauges cost $192 on Amazon. So for the price of all the gauges and the plastic, it was still less than just buying the the whole plastic bezel itself off of Jags or Classic Industries, wherever. So another way you can save some money if you decide to do it yourself. So anyway, thanks again for joining me, and I hope you'll join me on the next video.